Well, howdy everyone. Welcome. It is a bright, shiny day here in Texas, and made it to the second carpool for the day. I don't know about you, but this is the time of year that school and athletics just kind of take over our lives. And I think in the next 3 weeks, between school, church, and athletics, we have 3 nights free out of the next 21 days. So balance is really having to be a key practice for us, as well as some really good planning ahead. So I'm a little, like, if you saw my preview on my personal, actually I'm having a hard time focusing on you. My eyes are so cross-eyed. Probably need my readers on to be able to even just focus on you, to talk to you today, because I've been working on numbers and projections for one of my clients' business all afternoon. In fact, I think I've spent most of my day on those items, but it's really cool. It's really cool. It's really interesting, guys, when you might feel the most frustrated about your business. So not even what I'm talking about for the day. But when you might feel the most frustrated about your business, when you don't know your numbers and you haven't looked at your numbers, it's really hard to see the really good things that are happening. And that's kind of where there's a lot of frustration, because it's kind of a new ownership of a business. So lots of frustrations there, but there's some really cool silver linings that I'm seeing as a trend, just because I'm looking at the numbers and I know what to look at. Which kind of brings me to today's Facebook Live, Coaching from the Carpool. I'm Leslie Hassler. I own Your Biz Rules Business Coaching and host for our time today. So really, the title is three reasons you're going to need to hire a business coach. I would say, from what I've been told from my clients who've worked with other coaches, Your Biz Rules is a little bit different. And part of what makes this really different is that we're paying attention to not just the bottom line, but your take home. And we're helping you learn to pay attention to the financials so that you can become a really good money manager in your business, because that's the name of the game. If most businesses fail from a lack of cash, a lack of funding, a lack of capital, how you manage your money is really key. And so, if we look at, some of the reasons that my clients hire me, I will say that no one's a great money manager. No one really tracks their money in the way that I teach you how to track your money. And that's okay, because it's just not common knowledge. It's street knowledge for me. I like to say I came from the school of hard knocks. I have an MBA. That's so much of what I bring to you in my business coaching is very practical, tactical, and street knowledge, if you will, about running a business. Well, when your cash is not so much all ducks in a row, because I don't know how well that actually exists in a bedroom, but when you've got cash issues, you will always be in this reactive state of decision making. You will always be chasing fires. You will always be putting out emergencies. You will always, just when you think you're going to get ahead, have another expense that can kind of wipe out the money you thought you had coming in the door. And that reactive decision making actually puts you in a really poor position to grow, because you never get time to be proactive, to have that plan, to do the envisioning, to do the prioritization. And so that's one reason why the first thing we always work on is cash, and getting cash stable. Because when cash is stable, we can shift, right? You can turn into the true entrepreneur that you are, a problem solver. You can look for opportunities to grow. You can see paths that you never even imagined, and you can take advantage of opportunities. So if you're in that reactive state, you always feel caught between a rock and a hard spot, chances are you could probably use a business coach. I'm just going to say, because there's certain things that you can't see. I mean, guys, there's certain things about my own business I can't see. That's why I have mentors. That's why I pay people to help me, right? Because I know that I'm not the best one to always look at my own business, because I'm too close to it. I'll say the second way, or this, hey Lynn, good to see you today. The second reason that you probably need to be hiring a business coach is if you're finding growth challenging. So typically, everyone experiences that initial whoosh, kind of uptick as you go through your circle of friends, and then you're going to go down, right? If you haven't planned, again, there's that plan word. I know it's kind of crazy for what that dip is going to do. You don't know what to do and how to do it to bring yourself back up. So that's kind of the first time growth gets hard. And the second time growth gets hard is when you've been successful. Maybe you're at $1 million. Maybe you're at $500,000. Maybe it almost doesn't matter what the number is, guys. It's that growth becomes challenging. And so what you find is that what worked in the past doesn't work anymore. Kind of call that what got you here won't get you there. 2, your top line number, you might be floating. I call it the wave factor. Waves make you feel like you're moving, but all you're really doing is oscillating around a point. And that's what your revenue looks like. Like, here's this point. If you were to average out 3-5 years, they probably all come right around this point. But your bottom line, your profit is dwindling. Good time to bring in a coach. Because here's the thing in service-based businesses, guys, that you might not understand is, yes, you can cut cost, but you can only cut so many costs, right? And so if you're not paying attention to the numbers of the business and you're seeing that profit dwindle, you probably don't know why. And I would venture that you'll probably cut some of the most impactful things first instead of really looking at what's driving your business and where those expenses should be. But at a certain point in time, you can only be so lean, right? You can only be so lean. So there's other things that you need to be doing in your business to actually impact not just your expenses and what your ratio is, but that gross profit number, that net profit number. There's a lot of things that you can do in there to actually drive and impact change. So I love working with businesses that have been, there's all these kids walking by. See if you can see them. See them? And they were just waving at me since I'm on the video. Teenagers, they can't resist to be on TV with you. My point being, so there are all these little factors that actually contribute to that situation. I love working with businesses that have been in business for 3-5 years, and that's because you have momentum, right? And you have past clients, and you have learnings, and you have metrics. Part of the most difficult thing that we're doing with this business, I told you we were working on today, is there's not really any metrics. There's not really any benchmarks to be able to measure against, and every month is different. So we're really trying to get a grasp of what the potential is and what our expectations should be. But when you've been around for a while, you've got that, right? I usually ask for the last 3 years of financials for a business, and I'll just go through and run it through a couple of tools that I have that just really distill a business in such a way that where I can see what's really been happening in your business in a way you can't. So that's kind of the second situation where you probably need to be talking to a business coach. And I'll say the third situation, guys, is really if what you want is exponential growth. 10% growth is good, but it's easy, right? You could do 10% hands down. I'll just give you it, right? Let me just give you this. And if you don't believe me, I believe this philosophy came forth from Jim Rohn. So maybe, and I know Brian Tracy as well talks about it too. And so when I first heard this, what I'm about to tell you, when I first heard of it, I really tried to disprove it. I'm a bit of a rebel, so I like to disprove or prove. And this is just crazy, how good this is and how easy this is. You don't even need me. Need me? You want more than 10%? Call me. 10% is good by you? Here's your thing. Track your leads, track your sales, track your time, track your marketing dollars, track. Be an expert in your business's numbers, because being conscious in a business and being able to track those numbers, you actually will grow 10%. It's what the mind does. It was so interesting. We had just to prove this concept, multi-million dollar businesses, right? They're playing a long game, but they're managing daily numbers. They're managing numbers on a daily basis to win the long game. Most service-based entrepreneurs don't do that. Not at all, right? And that's one of those skill sets we try to get my clients into their own business. And if you're not driving volume, hey, you probably don't need it every day, but you need it maybe every week, minimally every month, right? So that would be, if you're looking for exponential growth, you can do it the hard way. And the hard way is going in and getting more clients. I'm just going to tell you, that's the hardest thing to do out there. Or you can do it the easy way. All right, and that's about breaking apart growth. It's about putting things like the compound factor into impact there. So those are just 3 reasons why you might need a business coach. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? If you know somebody that's in one of those 3 situations that we talked about today, feel free to share this video with them. Tag them, let them know that it's out there. See maybe if you can get their brain rolling, get the gears shifting. Because growth really is, it's simple. It's just not always easy. And that's when you really need to have somebody in your back pocket, somebody in your corner that's willing to help you make it a lot simpler. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you're having a beautiful day. This is Leslie Hassler, and you've been watching Coaching from the Carpool.